All right, continuing this relationship series. Oh, arc, relationship continuum, video number. Who knows at this point? Authentic communication and sharing the impact, like showing somebody the impact that they had on you through their behavior. Now, because David Data talks about sharing the impact, and he tells women they must, or the feminine, but women, they must share the impact. And the challenge is we never share the impact without wanting to alter someone's behavior. And there's very few ways you can do that cleanly. And we're going to talk about stages, of course. And we're going to talk about how this ties in with being responsible for your own emotional reactions, because we are responsible for our own emotional reactions. Nobody triggers us. We get triggered. And that's the powerful place to stand. We talked about responsibility and the reasons this is simply true. If you have some intense incident that occurs on a street, 5 different people will have 5 different reactions to it. And we can't be responsible for other people's emotional reactions, and we can't make them responsible for our emotional reactions. If we do, then we start the victim spiral. But how do you authentically share how it made you feel when they did that, or how you felt when they did that, so that you can alter their behavior for the increase of the beauty of the relationship, so that you both are maintaining responsibility so that you get free, because the only way to get free is to take responsibility for your own emotional reactions and for your own triggers. Yet you want a certain experience, a certain aesthetic experience with your lover or your partner. This gets very complicated. So how do you share the impact responsibly? And also, how do you have authentic communication? Because what I've noticed, and let's just talk about authentic communication for a minute. I've noticed for years, what is authentic communication? People talk about communicating authentically, and usually they just mean speaking their truth. I'm like, I'm going to say all this stuff. But really, that's not necessarily authentic communication at all. That's just them being an asshole. Or, I have a kitten licking my elbow right now. Or, yes, I know. Or, it's probably excellent, yes. Or so ferocious, so ferocious. Or, so ferocious. Oh. Okay. Anyway, so how do we tie all these things together? What I noticed was authentic communication. Really, what people don't understand is there's something operating underneath the communication. So they say hi, and underneath it is love or fondness, right? So there's an emotional thing going on underneath it. Now, this isn't like usually positive emotions are at the place that we need to look here, but it's negative emotions. So somebody complains about something, what's underneath that is hurt or anger or frustration. Now, if you, as a skillful communicator, can speak to that emotion, like, I can tell you're frustrated. Yeah, that's right. And they relax and they feel validated and mostly all the steam goes out of their argument, their inauthentic argument. So authentic communication will often look like, hey, when you did that, I felt this way. But the trick is not having it be a blaming scenario or a blaming dynamic. Now, these are 3 different things I'm trying to tie together here. The challenge comes in if we go into victim, which means we blame them for our emotional experience, in which case we lose all the power. So how does this look in terms of stages? How do we share the impact and also simultaneously authentically communicate what's going on for us? Because most people really don't know what authentic communication is. And I assert it's simply communicating how you felt not all this other stuff on top of the feelings. All this, well, when you do that, like, I just think that, just shortcut all that. So, sharing the impact and stages. So sharing the impact stages would be just punishing somebody. Well, they did this, so I'm going to withhold sex from them, or I'm going to not talk to them for 3 days, and that's just punishment. Now, it could look like sharing the impact or having them feel the impact. Great. But at the pre-rational level, pre-rational, rational, transrational, vengeance, justice, grace, pre-personal, personal, transpersonal, pre-rational, rational, like, they start to look, you get the idea. But how it occurs in terms of stages, and these stages are important because they're the stages through which people interpret and react from, period. They interpret what's going on, or they react from there emotionally. So, pre-rational, sharing the impact, or pre-rational authentic communication is, and withholding, and basically it's just punishment. Rational is probably just confusion. Like, I don't know how to deal with this. I have choice here, but I don't know how to communicate it. Or maybe you're able to communicate it, but you're transrational would be actually extreme clarity. So extreme clarity and sharing the impact would be something like, when you did this, I felt this way. And of course, I'm responsible for my emotional reactions. And I've got triggers I need to work out. And making a request around grace from them. It could also be just extreme clarity around what you want and what you do not want in your relationship at the time. But what's true as you move through the stages, what's just empirically true, is you get increasingly more clear, and your ability to communicate with clarity your needs, your desires, how it felt to you. You become increasingly more articulate about that. So if you're triggered, first of all, you need to go resolve the triggers, because it's not the person at all. They're an opportunity. They're a gift. They have helped you reveal this within yourself. A deeper healing you need to resolve. You may have requests. You may need to make requests. Sorry, there's a kitten licking my forearm. This is Isis. Hello, Isis. The goddess of healing and magic. Who just is my primary sleeping mate? What's that? I don't know. What's that? Oh. Boop, 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 boop. Anyway, sharing the impact, stages, authentic communication. But the more you can authentically communicate and do it cleanly, like, hey, when you did this, I felt this, and I have a request, and if you finish it off with a request, something that fulfills a need of yours, then you'll be doing yourself and your lover and your partner, spouse, whatever, a great service.